Everyone, Ryan here. Black Sabbath, the Ultimate Collection. It's a 2-disc album. Unless you happen to get the vinyl, then I don't know if it might be a 2 vinyl album. That's not that I don't mind vinyl, but I don't really have the room to collect vinyl, so. But anyways, I'll get into the track listing here, then talk about some of my favorites. On the first CD, it starts with Paranoid, and then Never Say Die, Iron Man, Black Sabbath, Children of the Grave, Fairies Wear Boots, Changes, Rat Salad, Sweet Leaf, War Pigs, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, Hole in the Sky, Symptom of the Universe, Spiral Architect, and Rock and Roll Doctor. So as far as what my favorites are on this first CD, I'm going to go with obviously Paranoid. That's a lot of people's favorites. I also like the song Black Sabbath. Fairies Wear Boots. I actually like that one. I know not everyone does. Well, I mean, some of my friends who are Black Sabbath fans don't really like that song, but I do. Sweet Leaf. I also like that one. Also like Hole in the Sky, Spiral Architect, and Symptom of the Universe. I didn't pick the obvious ones like Iron Man or War Pigs. War Pigs, by the way, is a song that I covered in my band, Revolt. Unfortunately, we've been on a long break because our drummer quit a while ago, and he didn't want to go on tour with us because something about he was afraid of his wife leaving him. But that's a whole other thing. And so, as for CD number 2, it starts with Dirty Women, Evil Woman, Don't Play Your Games With Me, A Hard Road, Lord of This World, Into the Void, Behind the Wall of Sleep, Snowblind, Tomorrow's Dream, The Wizard, NIB, Electric Funeral, Embryo, Killing Yourself to Live, Am I Going Insane, Wicked World, and It's Alright. So as for the second CD, my favorites are, I'm going to say, Into the Void, Snowblind, NIB, and Electric Funeral. Yeah. And also, I would say, Am I Going Insane? I tend to like any kind of song that questions one's own sanity in some kind of way. So, as far as an overall rating goes, I would give this collection 4 out of 5 stars. Yeah. I'm not going to go into too many technical details. That's because, I mean, everybody's familiar with Black Sabbath. I know that. I just wanted to review some kind of album by them. Maybe later on I'll start, I do want to actually review their actual albums, the separate albums, a little more in depth. Because I feel like, I mean, Black Sabbath, they're considered to be the originators of heavy metal. And I would say, yeah, that's definitely true. Obviously, I know not everybody's going to agree with that. That's like with most things, but, hey, what are you going to do? I do like, of course, I like pretty much all the guitar solos on each and every one of these songs. Well, the ones that do have them. Especially like, I would say one of my favorite guitar solos is the one on War Pigs, except I think it's technically more like 3 guitar solos. Tony Iommi is definitely one of my favorite lead guitar players. I mean, you gotta figure, back then when they started, I believe it was in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken, 60s to 70s. Back then, nobody else was playing this kind of music. There might have been one or two bands here and there that kind of got close to it, to the Black Sabbath sound. But really, Black Sabbath, they were the only ones. They had a unique sound. And a lot of that, a big chunk of that was due to the fact that Tony Iommi, the guitar player, I had read that because he was working in some factory of some kind, and he got the tips of his fingers chopped off, but he wanted to continue playing guitar, so in order to do that, even when the skin on his fingers, the tips of his fingers, healed as much as they could, he still wasn't able to really grip the guitar strings that much. So what he did was he figured out how to play with thimbles on his fingers. And then he also tuned down his guitar, which gave it that ultimately that heavy, sludgy, like really raw, almost industrial kind of sound. And that ended up contributing to Black Sabbath's overall sound and tone, and and the rest is history. So I will say that on some of these songs I do like the guitar tone. On others, not so much. But hey, I figure you give them a free pass on that because they didn't have all the awesome recording technology that we do today. So and also too, I like on some of the songs I really like Ozzy's vocals, because on some of them he's able to really reach high up into the higher register, really hit those high octaves, high notes, and then on others it's kind of like, it almost sounds like he's straining his voice a little bit. So but I mean, I don't know, it could have been due to depending on when they recorded the different tracks, the vocal tracks, it all depends on how the individual is feeling, what kind of mindset they're in, and if they're drunk or high or or just tired, or it could be a myriad of things. So the drums also, I definitely had drums, although I will say Bill Ward, I believe, is their original drummer. I've never considered him to be like a super technical drummer, but he's awesome nonetheless. I mean, hey, I can't play drums. It's not even if the handful of times I've tried to play drums, I just, I really can't. I mean, I can play along to a good beat, but to actually play the drums, that takes a certain amount of skill, in my opinion. And the bass lines, I'm definitely a big fan of Geezer Butler, I believe is his name. I'm pretty sure that's the bassist's name. I've always liked the way he plays bass, like, instead of just like hitting a couple of notes over and over, the same 2 notes or the same 3 notes, he like really goes for it, and he just like, I think pretty much almost on every Black Sabbath song that they've ever recorded, he's always done this awesome jazz-like improvisational bass technique. On some of the songs you can really hear it stands out a lot. Obviously on others doesn't really stand out that much, but I guess it ultimately depends on how much you pay attention to each track. So, but again, I give this a definite 4 out of 5 stars. Also too, I guess the way that this is mastered or remastered, mixed, I don't really like how it's remastered. I believe it's been remastered. This collection came out sometime in 2017, I believe. Or if not, late 2016, early 2017. But it's a decent collection. I mean, as far as like, if somebody were to ask me like, you know, what Black Sabbath album they should start out with, you know, if they never listened to an entire Black Sabbath album before, I'd say I would definitely recommend this collection, because it's got enough of a variety of Black Sabbath songs that, you know, it's a good representation. I feel it's a good representation of their sound and, you know, what they've been able to do as a band. So, yeah. And then the booklet of this album, the artwork is interesting. It's got pictures of them, of course, in their younger days. And I'm always kind of surprised by how young Ozzy used to look. I mean, compared to now, it's yeah. I will admit, I've never seen Black Sabbath in concert before. I've seen Ozzy, which was definitely an awesome show, but I gotta talk about that in another video thing. So again, I give this 4 out of 5 stars. And that'll do it for my review of the Black Sabbath, The Ultimate Collection. So, thanks for watching, and as always, till next time, don't forget to keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.